Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to almost 50% of first marriages. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Divorce Happens, a podcast to educate, inspire, support, and yes, make you laugh through divorce and beyond so that you can start fresh on the next phase of your journey. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce.
You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Divorce Happens, the show where we support you before, during, and after divorce with education, inspiration, and a little bit of laughter. Because as we know, divorce happens and then you start fresh. And we're here with Lisa Lisser today. Lisa, can you introduce yourself?
I would love to, Olivia. So, hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Lisser. I am a certified divorce and co-parenting coach. I have done multiple certifications because, you want to get a lot of tools up your sleeve. My background is as a lawyer, as a nonprofit leader, as a community builder, and as a Jewish educator. Because you know what? We live this life forward, and every iteration of us becomes more of who we are. And for me, that landed into divorce coaching because I recognized that when I went through my divorce, I needed someone to hold my hand and help me think things through, and I didn't have that person. So I became that person, and so that I could help other women going through the challenges of divorce and trying to piece together the tools that will help them, which may be different than the tools that helped their attorney's last client. So that's why I do what I do.
Awesome. So I think when it comes to divorce, when I think about the year and the seasons, right, we tend to sometimes get into a rhythm, right? We're like, okay, the kids have, they're going to be at this parents and this, we're going to do this. And then there's certain days of the year that really throw us for a loop. And that is usually a holiday, right? So what happens, Lisa, when we come upon the holidays and we find ourselves the day of and we're just not okay?
Yeah. Well, first of all, recognize that you're human. You're experiencing grief, you're experiencing loss, you're experiencing expectations that just didn't happen or happened for many years. And maybe they weren't even what you wanted of them, but you were still a family in your head. Now, you might feel like you're not that family. You're not that family, but you still are a family. Yet when you're in the midst of it, you feel loss. And that's real and that hurts. And it can hit you when you least expect it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we do like if we find ourselves dreading, going to temple without our kids or waking up on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve, or I know a lot of people are very worried about going to their own parents' house without their children, right? For the first time. And the
Yeah.
judgment that's going to come from the grandparents. How do we handle some of these situations?
Right. Well, that is really big. This idea like we're going to the regular thing, but we're by ourselves. We're alone. So, one way to handle it is to give yourself a little grace, is to say, look, this is my story. I may not even like it right now, but it's real and no one else gets to judge me. Frankly, you do a lot of your own judgment. And that's part of what hurts so much. That inner critic that says we did something wrong and that's why we're here. So I want you to take the time to forgive yourself. Really forgive yourself and let yourself know that grief is normal. Grief comes when you least expect it. And so maybe find yourself a mantra that says, I value my inner strength. Even if I don't feel it, I know it's there. I can do hard things. And when people in that scenario trigger you, you have some tools in your pocket. You can say, you know what? Today's a holiday, and I'm choosing not to talk about my divorce. I'm choosing not to talk about whether I'm dating. I'm choosing not to talk about the kids because right now, I just need to be present with my family.
Mm, that's powerful. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. So what are some of these tools that we can keep in our pocket for getting through a tough day like this?
So I always invite you to think about who are your people? Who are your people? And I'm going to share, I had a real loneliness experience in these last 6 months. And I'm like, in my head, the story I'm telling is, I don't have anyone. I'm alone. My friends are not really my friends. And then I said, let me do what I tell all my clients to do. And I started making a list. And the list kept on growing. And then I was like, but I can't call this one or I can't call that one. Well, actually, I could. And I did. And I got the courage. I put on my big girl panties and I got the
Mhm.
courage to call someone who I love and who I know loves me. And that shifted things. It didn't make it perfect, but when I had someone who would hear me and listen to me that I know was safe, that changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, this is just a plug for you, Lisa, as a divorce coach, because sometimes we just need to pay someone to be by our side also. And you can help people also strategize for days like this that are more tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we don't know until we're in it sometimes. And one of the things you can do when you're my client is you can text me when something is throwing you.
Uh,
I'm not I'm always here for you, but it's not always on the clock. So in between sessions, I'm still your divorce coach.
uh,
So you need a hand, you need an ear, you need to vent, send me a text. We'll set up a 15-minute call.
that's powerful. Yeah. Yeah, so necessary. I mean, I wish that everybody in the world could have you as a divorce coach. Um, okay, what's one way we can just be super loving to ourselves on a day that's tricky like this?
Okay. So there are grounding practices and then there is concrete things. So grounding practice breathing. It seems so basic. It's like, I just, why would I waste my time? If you just put both feet on the ground and put your hands on your heart and close your eyes for 3 breaths, you're going to calm everything down. And that's an act of loving kindness that you're delivering to yourself.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, a concrete move, don't go on Facebook, don't go on Instagram. You don't need to see how everyone else is displaying their joyful holiday because you actually don't know what happened before that picture.
Yep.
People only show the happy things that they want to share. That engagement photo may not show the fight right beforehand,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? That that Thanksgiving table that everyone's around may be missing someone who's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that's part of what we see on social media that can stir things up in us. And we don't have to do that to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the permission. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna order some delicious food and just veg out on the couch and enjoy
Yeah.
yourself.
Or these days, we can watch anything on any streaming
Yeah.
service. So choose that thing that makes you smile. If it's watching Elf
Mhm.
or Love Actually, watch those things.
Yeah.
If it's watching something that makes you cry, watch that thing.
Yeah.
I know a couple years ago, um, this series was on Apple called Schmigadoon, which was
Mhm.
fun of musical theater, and I am a musical theater geek.
Uh-huh.
So it was only 6 episodes, and I could watch it really fast. And I showed my daughter, we watched 2 episodes, and then she wanted to go back to the beginning, and we did the whole thing. And it just was joyful.
Yeah.
It made us laugh.
Yep.
So those are the kinds of things you can do, and don't feel guilty. You're allowed to sit on the couch. It's the holidays.
Yep. I love
So
that.
so do what gives you joy.
I love that. I love that. If people want to work with you, how do you work? Where do you work?
So everything I do is virtually. You can find me at my website, which is lzlcoaching.com. People ask me what's my middle name. It's not Zelda. It's my maiden name, which was Zimmer. So
I
I'm
was actually going to ask that. So you answered my question. Okay. Yes, lzlcoaching.com, or of course at Fresh Starts. You can go find her or reach out to any of us and we will connect you directly to Lisa. And you offer a ton of different packages.
Yeah, I offer a ton of different packages, but I also offer a free 30-minute consult. So it doesn't cost anything to call me up. We could work through something really immediate and say goodbye, or we could figure out how we move this forward in a way that works for you, that fits your budget, that fits your schedule.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. We appreciate you so much, Lisa. These are such helpful tips, and I hope that everybody uses these tools to get through any day, whether it's a birthday or a holiday or New Year's, because there's some tough days when you're divorced. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate you.
Oh, thanks so much. And I appreciate you too.
Divorce Happens is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the only divorce registry platform for everything you need to begin again, including home items, hype team, and everything in between. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh. We're here to support you before, during, and after divorce. Head to freshstartsregistry.com for more info.